Two men walk into the same room, same resume, same qualifications, same number of years in the industry, same intelligence behind their eyes. One gets the offer, one goes home. The decision was made in 4 seconds. Before either of them spoke a single word. You think you know why. You don't, because what separated them had nothing to do with skill, nothing to do with who worked harder or who deserved it more. It had everything to do with a signal, an invisible signal that one man was broadcasting without knowing it. A signal that said, without words, without sound, I am not the one you are looking for. You have been that second man, maybe last week, maybe yesterday, maybe every single day for years. You prepared, you showed up, you had the right answers, but something worked against you before you even got started. And nobody told you what it was. They just chose someone else. They gave the room to someone else. And you went home wondering what you did wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You just looked wrong. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He called it the mask of the prince, the art of weaponizing your image so that reality bends to fit your appearance. Not who you are, who you appear to be. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly what signals are betraying you every single day. Signals you are sending without knowing it. Signals that are costing you money, opportunities, and respect right now. Drop this in the comments before we begin. I refuse to be invisible, because after this, you will not be. 1. Why the world treats you like prey. Let me tell you something nobody in your life has ever said to your face. The world is not unfair. It is efficient, and efficiency has no mercy. When a wolf spots a limping deer, it does not think. It does not feel empathy. It does not wonder about the deer's past, its struggles, its potential. The limp triggers one response, one instinct, ancient, automatic, irreversible. Humans are not different. We are just more polished about it. Dominance hierarchies are not social constructs invented by the powerful to oppress the weak. They are biological commands written into every creature that has ever lived. Lobsters fight for position. Wolves sort themselves into order within hours of meeting. Chimpanzees read status signals before they read anything else. And humans, despite our universities and our philosophy and our borrowed wisdom, do exactly the same thing. The difference is that we sanitized the violence. We do not tear throats with our teeth. We do it with loan interest rates, with salary offers, with the way a recruiter's eyes slide past your resume to the next one, with the way a merchant charges you more because he already calculated that you have fewer options, with the way a room shifts when certain people enter it versus when you do. Civilization is a thin coat of paint over a predatory animal. Scratch it, and the animal is still there. When you look poor, you are sending a specific signal to that animal. You are signaling that you have no allies, no resources, no one who will come looking if something happens to you. You are signaling that you are a low-risk target. Think about what that means in practice. A merchant who cheats a man in a tailored suit, sharp shoes, the quiet confidence of someone who has options. That merchant is afraid. He fears lawyers. He fears powerful friends. He fears one whispered word in the right ear destroying everything he built. He hesitates. And in that hesitation, the man in the suit is protected. A merchant who cheats a man who looks desperate, shoulders forward, eyes apologetic, clothes that signal struggle. That merchant fears nothing. Who will listen? Who will care? Who will come? By looking poor, you strip away your own deterrence. You make yourself safe to exploit. Machiavelli saw this with absolute clarity. He wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see you, but very few have to feel who you are. Everyone sees you, but very few will ever take the time to feel who you are. This is not cruelty. This is the speed at which the human brain must operate to survive. It does not want to dig through the mud of your appearance to find the gold of your character. It wants a shortcut. And your appearance is that shortcut. When you look weak, You are handing the world a verdict against yourself. You are saving them the effort of judging you. You are saying, without words, I have already decided I am not worth much, so you should agree. And the world, which is brutal and efficient and literal, agrees. The man who understands this does not fight it. He does not rage against the unfairness of biological instinct. He does not write angry posts about how people should look deeper. He looks like a lion, even when he is not yet one, because the world does not attack what it fears, and it fears what it cannot read as prey. 2. The hidden tax nobody talks about. Here is something that will change how you see money forever. You think poor people pay less because they buy cheaper things. That is the story. That is the comfortable lie. The truth is the opposite. Poor people pay more for everything, not because of cruelty, because of mathematics, risk mathematics. And when you look poor, the world starts charging you this tax immediately. Before you sign anything, before you negotiate anything, before you even sit down, call it what it is. The poverty premium. Go to a bank looking like you need the money, voice trembling with the reality of your situation, clothes carrying the weight of your struggle. The bank does not see a client. It sees a liability, and liabilities are charged accordingly. Higher interest, tighter terms, more scrutiny, less generosity. Walk into the same bank 2 hours later looking like you have never needed anything in your life. Suit pressed, movements unhurried, the boredom of a man who has options. That man does not ask, he proposes. The vault opens differently for him. The terms are different. The smile from the officer is different. Same bank, same day, 2 completely different transactions. The only variable was perception, but it goes further than bank loans. The mechanic who sees a man drive in with a cracked bumper, nervous energy asking if they can do it cheap, that mechanic calculates something. He calculates that this person cannot afford to go somewhere else, cannot afford to argue, cannot afford to wait. And he charges for that calculation. The salary negotiation where you accept the first offer because you are too afraid they will take it back. That fear is visible, and they saw it, and they gave you less than they were prepared to give. The landlord, the insurance company, the contractor, the car dealership. Every single arena where someone has something you need, they are reading you before they quote you. And if you look like you cannot walk away, they price you accordingly. This is not personal. This is pricing based on perceived leverage. And your appearance is the loudest signal of how much leverage you have. Machiavelli understood the mechanics of this perfectly. He wrote, "The prince who relies entirely on fortune is lost when fortune changes, but the prince who controls perception controls his own fortune." Perception is leverage, and leverage determines price. Every day you walk out looking diminished, looking like someone who needs rather than someone who provides. You are paying an invisible fee. It is deducted silently from every negotiation, every opportunity, every interaction where someone had to decide how much your time and presence and request were worth. The painful part is not that this tax exists. The painful part is that you have been paying it without knowing it. Now you know. Drop this in the comments. I cancel my poverty subscription today, because the moment you understand the tax, you can refuse to pay it, not by pretending to have money you do not have, by refusing to broadcast the signals that trigger the calculation in the first place. The world does not charge you because you are poor. It charges you because you look like someone with no options. Give it fewer reasons to believe that. Give it no clean signal to read. Walk in like someone who could leave and be fine. Speak like someone who has already decided the outcome. Move like someone who is not waiting for permission. The tax does not disappear immediately, but it starts to shrink, and every dollar of it that disappears is a dollar that finally stayed in your pocket where it belonged. 3. One crack destroys the whole picture. The human brain does not separate. That is the thing most people never understand. It does not look at you and think, "Interesting suit," but that scuffed heel. I will weigh these separately. It does not compartmentalize. It takes the first negative signal it receives and uses it as a lens through which it judges everything else about you. Psychologists call it the horn effect, the dark twin of the halo effect. One negative trait poisons the entire perception. Your shoes are cracked. The brain does not stop there. It concludes you are careless, undisciplined, probably unreliable, maybe dishonest. All of that from your shoes, before you said a word, before you shook a hand, before you showed a single piece of evidence about who you actually are. Why? Because discipline is visible. Discipline is not just about achievement. It is about maintenance. And if you cannot maintain the fabric on your back, if you cannot control the entropy of your own appearance, the brain asks a simple question: why would anyone trust this person with something more complex? With a business, with a contract, with their time and their resources and their reputation? The visual is the proof of the internal. That is how the world sees it. Whether it is true or not is irrelevant. Now take this into the digital world, because the horn effect does not stop at your shoes. A LinkedIn profile with no photo gets passed over before anyone reads the headline. The brain needs an anchor. Without one, it assumes something is wrong. Why is this person hiding? An email from an address that reads, "First na mail, last na menims" at a free service tells a story before the subject line is opened. A resume where the formatting is inconsistent, where fonts shift, where spacing collapses, signals something before a single qualification is read. This person cannot control the details of a one-page document. Why would I trust them with details that matter? And then there is the cracked phone screen. That cracked screen is screaming. It is saying, "I broke this, and I do not have the resources to fix it. So I am living with broken things, carrying broken things, accepting broken things as my normal. Do not live with broken things." This is not about money. A screen repair is not always expensive. This is about what you are willing to tolerate in your own life. And the world reads your tolerance level as your standard. Whatever you accept in your own environment broadcasts your self-image to everyone watching. And people are always watching. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessity that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." The brain needs a reason to believe in you. It is looking for evidence. Give it clean evidence. Remove every reason to doubt. Not because the doubts would be accurate, because perception does not wait for accuracy. You do not need to be perfect. You need to have no obvious cracks, no obvious signals of chaos, no obvious evidence that you are losing the battle with your own life. Because here is the brutal truth. The person who does not hire you, does not choose you, does not invite you into their world, they are not evil. They are just efficient. They saw a signal. The signal said, "Risk," and they moved on. Stop giving them the signal. That is all. Just stop giving them the signal. 4. Your mouth betrays you more than your clothes. You can spend $500 on a suit and destroy it in 30 seconds. All you have to do is open your mouth wrong. Most people think looking poor is about clothing, about shoes, about the watch on your wrist or the car in the parking lot. And yes, those things matter. We already covered why they matter. But there is a layer underneath all of that. A layer that most people never touch. A layer that can make a man in a designer suit look like a beggar, or make a man in a plain shirt look like he owns the room. It is your language. The specific words you choose. The way you frame your requests. The way you respond to pressure. The way you handle silence. Your vocabulary is your status signal. And most people are leaking poverty through their mouths every single day without realizing it. The person who says, "I cannot afford it," is broadcasting a budget. The person who says that is not my priority right now is broadcasting control. Same financial reality, completely different perception of power. The person who opens an email with, "Sorry to bother you," is announcing that they believe their presence is an inconvenience. The person who writes, "I have something important to discuss," is announcing that their time has weight. The person who asks, "How much does it cost?" first in a negotiation is revealing desperation. The person who asks, "Is this worth my investment?" first is revealing standards. These are not tricks, they are signals. Every word you choose tells the person across from you something about how you see yourself. And how you see yourself determines how they see you. Look at how the language of poverty and the language of power operate differently in the same situations. When something is refused, the poor response is to negotiate downward immediately, to explain why you still deserve it, to ask again with a softer voice. The powerful response is 2 words: understood, thank you, and then you leave. That silence after leaving is worth more than any argument. When you are presenting an idea, the poor version begins with, "I was just thinking, maybe, possibly, if it is okay with you." The powerful version begins with, "Here is what I recommend." No hedging, no preemptive apology for having a perspective. When you want something, the poor version asks with a question mark and then fills the silence with explanations of why you deserve it. The powerful version states it and then goes quiet. The silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. Intelligent, deliberate pressure. And then there is the speed of your voice. When a person speaks fast, stumbling over words, rushing to fill space before the other person can interrupt, the brain reads anxiety. Anxiety reads as scarcity. Scarcity reads as someone who cannot afford to lose this conversation, someone who needs this more than the person they are talking to. When a person speaks slowly, pauses intentionally, allows silence without needing to fill it, the brain reads confidence. Confidence reads as options. Options read as power. Machiavelli wrote, "Silence is the true friend that never betrays." He understood that what you choose not to say is often more powerful than what you say. Every explanation you give is a handle someone else can grab. Every justification is an opening. Every apology for existing in the room is a signal that you are not sure you belong there. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop apologizing for taking up space. You belong in every room you walk into. Act like it. Speak like it. And if you are not sure you believe that yet, say it anyway. The voice learns from the words it speaks repeatedly. The mouth that once leaked poverty can be retrained, word by word, conversation by conversation, until the language of power is not something you perform, but something you simply speak. Drop this in the comments. My words carry weight, because they do, or they will, starting now. 5. Your eyes tell them everything. Researchers at Princeton University showed people photographs of 2 political candidates. The photographs were shown for less than 1 second. No names, no policies, no records, no campaign promises, just faces. For a fraction of a second, those people predicted the correct winner of elections with 70% accuracy. Think about what that means. 7 out of 10 times the outcome of a democratic election was visible in a face before a single word of policy was spoken, before a debate, before an advertisement, before anything. And you think the way you hold your eyes when you walk into a room does not matter. The poverty gaze is something you learned. Nobody was born with it. It was taught by every room that made you feel small, every moment someone looked through you instead of at you, every experience that trained your body to make itself less visible before the attack came. It lives in specific places. The habit of looking at the floor when you walk through a door, the habit of breaking eye contact first, always first, as if sustained eye contact is a debt you do not have the right to collect. The nervous laugh when someone insults you, the laugh that says, "Please do not take that further." The way your body angles toward the exit in a room full of people you think are above you. These are not character flaws. They are survival adaptations that have outlived their usefulness and are now working against you. Because the body language of the prey does not just invite predators, It repels allies. People who could help you look at the poverty gaze and move on, not out of cruelty, out of their own biological programming. The signal says, this person is already losing, and nobody wants to attach themselves to losing. Now contrast that with the royal gaze. The royal gaze does not announce itself, it simply occupies. It holds eye contact, not as aggression, but as assessment. It sweeps a room the way a person surveys their own property. It moves slowly because it is not being paid by the hour. It does not shrink when someone powerful enters the room. It makes space for itself without asking permission. You can put a king in rags. If he keeps the royal gaze, the steady, unbothered certainty of his own presence, he will look like a king traveling incognito. You can put a beggar in silk. If he keeps the poverty gaze, the constant silent apology of his own existence, he will look like a beggar in a costume. The clothes are not the power. The gaze is the power. Machiavelli noted that the lion does not need to roar to be feared. He simply needs to be present. Presence is not loudness. Presence is not performance. Presence is the quiet certainty of someone who has decided they belong exactly where they are. The body must be trained before the mind fully believes it. This is the sequence. You do not wait to feel confident before you hold your gaze steady. You hold your gaze steady until the feeling follows. You do not wait to feel powerful before you take up space in a room. You take up space and let the feeling arrive behind you. The philosopher William James said it simply, "We do not sing because we are happy. We are happy because we sing." Act the body of power. The mind will renegotiate its position around the body's evidence, and every pair of eyes that lands on you will read the signal, not as a question, not as an apology, as a statement, as someone who is here, who intends to be here, and who has no interest in being anywhere else. 6. Being noisy is being broke. Here is a law of economics that most people apply only to products. When something is scarce, the brain assigns it high value automatically. When something is abundant, the brain treats it as cheap. You do not need to study this, you already feel it. Diamonds are scarce, and we call them precious. Air is abundant, and we give it away for free. Now apply that law to yourself. When your words are everywhere, your words are worthless. When your presence is constant, your presence is taken for granted. When your reactions are instant and guaranteed, your reactions cost nothing. The person who speaks at every opportunity fills the room with their voice until the voice becomes wallpaper, background, noise that people learn to filter out. The person who speaks rarely, who sits in silence comfortably, who does not feel the desperate need to fill every quiet space with sound, that person's voice lands differently when it arrives. It carries the weight of its own scarcity. This is not strategy. This is physics. Look at the predator. The tiger does not announce its presence until the moment it strikes. The CEO at the head of the table is rarely the loudest voice. The godfather in every story, real or invented, speaks just above a whisper. Power does not shout. Power does not need to. Now look at poverty. And I do not mean financial poverty alone. I mean the poverty of needing to be heard. The person who tells you about their debt in the first conversation. The person who complains about the price of things, the unfairness of their situation, the people who wronged them. The person who laughs too loudly, smiles too eagerly, explains every decision before anyone asked. The person who fills every silence, because silence makes them anxious, because in silence they feel the weight of being judged. They are giving away ammunition. Every sentence that reveals a wound is a map to that wound. Every complaint about what they lack is confirmation of the lack. Every nervous word that rushes to fill quiet space tells the room, I need your approval to feel safe here. And the room charges for that need. Machiavelli understood the flip side of this. By saying nothing, you force others to perform for you. When you are silent, you become a blank canvas. People project their own fears and fantasies onto you. They wonder what you are thinking. They wonder if you know something they do not. They start trying to impress you without knowing why. In the vacuum of your silence, they invent your power for you. Then you open your mouth and mention that you are stressed about your bills, and the spell shatters. You become ordinary. You become one of the crowd. And the crowd is always overpriced and undervalued. The moment you start performing for others, explaining yourself to others, seeking confirmation from others, you hand them the controls to your own value. Keep the controls. Speak when it matters. Be silent when it does not. Let your silence do the heavy work of maintaining mystery. Let people wonder. Let them fill the gap with something more powerful than you could have manufactured yourself. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be mysterious than to be known completely. The unknown is always worth more than the fully mapped." Keep yourself partially unmapped. Keep them in the geography of not quite knowing. And when you do speak, make it count. Make it clean. Make it brief. Say it once and let it sit. Drop this in the comments. My silence is my power. Because the moment you stop trying to fill the room with yourself, the room starts to fill itself with you. 7. Your phone screen is screaming your status. Social media did not create a new world. It gave poverty a louder microphone. Everything we have talked about, the signals, the gaze, the language, the noise, all of it found a new arena, a digital arena where the signals never sleep, never go offline, where they are visible to hundreds of people simultaneously, archived, searchable, permanent. And most people are broadcasting poverty on this platform every single day without realizing it. Every post is a signal. Every reaction is a data point. Every comment, every reply, every like, every time you surface in someone's feed, you are either building a perception or leaking one. The person who posts every meal is saying, "I need you to know I ate today. I need your acknowledgement that my choices are worthy of attention." That is approval seeking. It is visible. It is cheap. The person who documents every minor achievement, every gym session, every small step forward is advertising insecurity disguised as motivation. The man who is truly becoming something does not need the live broadcast. He arrives at the destination and the results speak. The person who posts about their problems publicly, who processes their conflicts and their pain in front of an audience, is signaling that they have no private space to work through difficulty, no inner circle, no trusted counsel. The world becomes their therapist, and the world charges for that in the currency of diminished respect. The person who reacts to every controversy, who cannot see an argument online without inserting themselves, who must have the last word on matters that have nothing to do with their life, that person is telling you something. They have time for this. Unlimited time, and time spent on nothing signals that nothing important competes for that time. Now look at the opposite. The person who posts rarely, whose appearance in your feed feels like an event rather than background noise, who says one thing and says it well, and then disappears back into a life that apparently does not need the validation of a feed. That person reads as someone whose life is too full to be documented, too rich to be reduced to a screen, too valuable to be given away for free to an algorithm. Scarcity. Always scarcity. You are a product in the attention economy, whether you chose to be or not. The only question is whether you are positioning yourself as rare or as abundant, as something worth seeking out, or something that is always already there. Machiavelli's principle cuts straight through the digital noise. He wrote, "Keep your plans invisible. The fastest way to lose power is to announce your next move." Every post that announces where you are, what you want, what you fear, what you resent, what you are working toward, is a move announced. It is leverage handed to strangers. It is a map of your interior given to people who have not earned access to it. Post with intention. Post rarely. Post things that serve the image of who you are becoming, not the reality of where you currently are. And when in doubt, post nothing. The blank space where your content could be is not absence, it is presence. It is the suggestion of a life happening somewhere outside the frame. And that suggestion is worth more than any content you could create. Make your digital presence scarce. Make each appearance mean something. Make people wonder what you are doing when you are not visible. Because in a world where everyone is broadcasting everything, the person who controls what they broadcast and what they withhold is the most powerful person in the feed. Your phone screen is either armor or exposure. You decide which every single time you open it. 8. You don't need money to stop looking poor. Let me remove the excuse you have been carrying. You cannot afford to look good. That is what you tell yourself. And it is a failure of imagination, not a failure of resources. Looking poor is almost never about the brand of your clothes. It is about the condition of your reality. And condition is controlled by discipline. Discipline costs nothing. It costs only the will to exercise it. A man in a cheap white shirt that is clean ironed and perfectly tucked looks wealthier than a man in $1,000 designer piece that is wrinkled and stained. This is not a metaphor. This is an observable fact that plays out in every room, every day. The wealthy do not look expensive. They look clean. That is the specific quality. A cleanliness that signals removal from the grime of the struggle. Not superior breeding, not generational wealth. Just the discipline to maintain their environment and their presentation as a daily priority. So, let us be concrete. Shoes polished, not new. Polished. The heel of your shoe tells a story about whether you pay attention to what people are not supposed to notice. They notice. Polish them. Collar pressed. Shirt tucked or properly untucked, one or the other, not the indecision of halfway. The outfit that looks like you ran out of time is the outfit that broadcasts that your time manages you instead of the other way around. Fingernails clean. 3 minutes, not a luxury. Basic maintenance that signals you live inside your body with some degree of intention. Phone screen not cracked. If it is cracked, fix it. If you cannot fix it today, cover it or use something else today. Do not carry broken things into rooms where you are trying to be taken seriously. The cracked screen says, I accept this, I have made peace with this brokenness, and the world extends that acceptance to you as a whole. Your car is old and rusted. Park it around the corner. Walk the last block. Arrive on foot, standing straight, like a man who chose to walk. Control the first impression. The car is a detail. Your arrival is the event. If you are taking someone important to dinner and the restaurant is beyond your budget, do not go and then sweat through the meal watching the bill. Take them for 2 black coffees at a place you can own completely. Be the master of a small domain. Pay with ease. Talk with full attention. It is better to be sovereign over something small than anxious inside something large. This principle applies internally as well. Do not live with broken things in your home, not because anyone will see them, because you will see them. Every day, every broken object in your environment is a quiet argument that this is the level of existence you deserve. Your subconscious does not ignore that argument. It absorbs it. It starts to agree with it. Fix what can be fixed. Remove what cannot be fixed. Do not tolerate evidence of brokenness in the spaces where you live and think and prepare for the world. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince must appear compassionate, faithful, humane, upright." Notice the word appear. You must curate the artifacts of your life. Curate. That is the word. Not purchase. Not upgrade. Curate. Select, maintain, and present what you have. With intention. The discipline of the exterior bleeds into the interior. When you care for your appearance daily, something shifts. You become more deliberate. You speak differently. You walk differently. You start to inhabit the version of yourself you are projecting. The mask becomes the face. Not immediately, but inevitably. Drop this in the comments. I am the master of my details. because mastery always starts with the smallest things. 9. The people around you are your uniform. You are not only judged by who you are judged by who you allow to stand next to you. Most people miss this. They understand that their own appearance matters, but they do not understand that appearance extends outward. It includes the people you arrive with, the people you are photographed with, the people you are seen defending, the groups you publicly associate with, the tribes you signal membership in. Your circle is your uniform, and you wear it whether you chose to or not. There is a difference that matters here. You are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. That is the familiar idea. But there is a sharper version of it. You are judged by the 5 people you are seen with, not just the ones in your inner life, the ones visible to the people who are evaluating you. And those 2 groups are not always the same. Machiavelli was direct about this in a way that still makes people uncomfortable. He wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. If they are capable and faithful, he is considered wise. If they are otherwise, he is judged unfavorably." He is not talking about fairness. He is talking about optics, and optics are the game. When you walk into a room with someone who carries themselves with authority, something of their credibility transfers to you by proximity. The brain uses association as a shortcut. This person chose to be here with that person. Therefore, this person has access to that world. Therefore, this person is worth considering. The reverse is equally true. Walk into a room with someone who broadcasts defeat, who complains loudly, who dresses without care, who laughs too desperately for attention, and the brush paints you both. The brain does not pause to separate you. It sees a flock and assigns you the characteristics of the flock. If your flock looks poor, you look poor. That is the rule. It is not negotiable. This is the piece that requires a hardness most people do not want to develop. Because you have loyalty, you have history, you have genuine love for people who are not where you are trying to go. And none of that is wrong. But compartmentalization is not betrayal. It is strategy. You do not have to abandon anyone. You have to understand that different arenas have different rules. When you are on the battlefield of your ambition, you bring warriors. When you are at home with people you love, you bring yourself without armor. These are not contradictions. They are different rooms in the same life. The social climbers who fight to be in the photograph understand something fundamental. The image is the asset. Being seen in the right context builds a reputation that words cannot build. The association becomes the credential. Audit what your circle signals to the world, not just who they are privately, what they broadcast publicly, how they carry themselves in rooms that matter, whether they add to the perception you are building or quietly subtract from it. And in the digital space, this extends further. Who you tag, who you defend publicly, which communities you are visibly part of. Every digital association is a signal about your tribe, and your tribe tells people what category to put you in before you have said a single word about yourself. Choose your visible circle with the same intention you bring to everything else, because the uniform is always on, even when you think no one is watching. 10. The real poverty lives inside your head. We have come this far together, and now I need to tell you the thing that makes everything else either work or fail. After everything, the clothes, the gaze, the words, the silence, the discipline, the circle, all of it, there is a man who applies every one of these things and still remains poor. You have probably seen him. Expensive watch, right posture, correct language, but something is still off. Something that people cannot name but feel immediately. A quality of costume rather than character, performance rather than presence. And there is another man, simpler appearance, not perfect execution. But when he walks into a room, the room reorganizes itself around him. You cannot explain it, you just feel it. The difference is what lives inside, the serf inside. The serf is the voice that has been with you since before you were old enough to question it. The voice that says, "Who am I to ask for that? Who am I to walk into that room? Who am I to expect better? Who am I to refuse this deal, this treatment, this diminishment?" That voice was built by years of evidence. Rooms that made you feel small, opportunities that went to someone else, people who looked through you, environments that trained you, quietly, consistently, that this is the level where you belong. And that voice does not leave when you buy new shoes. It does not go quiet when you fix your posture. It does not stop when you learn the right words. It is still there, running underneath everything, leaking out in the moments you are tired or surprised or under pressure. This is why lottery winners go broke in 3 years. They changed the numbers in their bank account. They did not change the number they held in their mind for themselves. They bought expensive things but wore them with the apology of someone who knows they do not quite belong to them. They looked poor in a Ferrari, and the world, reading the signal correctly, stripped them of it. You cannot dress your way out of a poverty identity. You can dress your way toward a different one. But the work underneath must happen at the same time. The serf inside you must be confronted directly, not ignored, not dressed up, confronted. Ask yourself where the voice comes from, whose words are actually living in your head when it speaks. Because I promise you, that voice is not originally yours. It is borrowed. It was placed there by circumstances and people and experiences that no longer define your reality. You have simply been carrying it forward out of habit. Carl Jung wrote that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The serf is unconscious. It operates below awareness. It makes decisions before your conscious mind gets involved. It shapes your posture before you remember to straighten it. It modulates your voice before you remember to slow it down. It breaks the eye contact before you choose to hold it. Making it conscious is the work, naming it, seeing it, and then choosing differently, repeatedly, until the choosing becomes the new default. Here is the paradox that makes all of this real. When you stop looking poor, you stop being poor. Not as magic, as mechanics. When you present with power, you are treated with respect. When you are treated with respect, you are given access. When you are given access, you gain resources. When you gain resources, the identity shifts from the inside. The mask summons the face, slowly, irreversibly. Machiavelli did not write about the world as it should be. He wrote about the world as it is. And in the world as it is, one principle stands above all others. Do not wait for the gold to arrive to polish the crown. Wear the crown now. The gold will follow the king. But if you stay in the rags, waiting for permission to change, waiting to feel worthy before you act worthy, you will die in them. Kill the serf, wear the crown, and let the world catch up to who you have already decided to become. Drop this in the comments. The world will not look through me, it will look up to me. You now know why the world treats you like prey when you look like prey. You now know the hidden tax that appearance charges you silently every single day. You now know that one crack destroys the whole picture. You now know your mouth betrays you more than your mirror ever could. You now know your eyes tell the room everything before you speak a word. You now know that being noisy is being broke, and silence is the loudest signal of wealth. You now know your phone screen is either armor or exposure. You now know that discipline, not money, is what separates the polished from the poor. You now know your circle is your uniform, visible to everyone reading the room. And you now know that the real battle was never about clothes. It was always about the serf you have been carrying inside, and the decision to finally put it down. The person who clicked on this video and the person finishing it are not the same. That first person was walking into rooms apologizing for existing. You are not that person anymore. You have seen the game. You cannot unsee it. The judgment is coming. It comes every day. every second, from every pair of eyes that lands on you at a meeting, a negotiation, a first impression, a second chance. They will decide in 4 seconds or less. They will decide before you open your mouth. The question is only this: will they see a victim, or will they see someone who has already won? Make your answer visible. Make it undeniable. Make it felt the moment you walk through the door. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because we are only just beginning. The world will not look through me. It will look up to me.